Hopefully things are going well for you viewers. As for me, I'm going to be reviewing a game today, and today's game we're going to be reviewing is Trials of Mana. Trials of Mana is a remake of a cult classic, import-only Super Famicom title. As well, it was part of the Mana series, which, however, we did get Final Fantasy Adventure, we did get Secret of Mana, but we didn't even get the sequel that takes place after Secret of Mana, known as Trials of Mana. Or we could say the... I don't want to butcher the Japanese names. I really don't. I'll just not say it just to be safe, but we'll say the American titles. But however, the Mana series has been going big, and has been getting a cult classic, and went quiet. And now, the Mana series is coming back. We know Secret of Mana got a remake, and Trials of Mana is getting a remake. Not only that, but however, the original Trials of Mana on the Super Famicom is getting officially translated and was released as part of the Collection of Mana, which was giving you Final Fantasy Adventures, and Trials of Mana, and Secret of Mana. Yeah, I said shit out of order. That's why I had to cut myself off there. But yeah, we'll just go through it in order. We know Final Fantasy Adventures, there's Secret of Mana, and then Trials of Mana. Here we set it at the proper order. So essentially what ended up happening, it didn't just stop at just translating the Super Famicom Classic. What happened here was that Square Enix decided to go ahead and remake Trials of Mana as well. And yeah, not only did they remake it, but they gave it the same treatment as they were doing to the original Super Famicom. They're translating that remake to English and bringing it to everybody worldwide, and thus giving everybody worldwide Trials of Mana remake, while also classic Trials of Mana. So that's actually pretty good, and that's something great for the Mana series, which is something that I didn't end up hearing about for a long time, and I really do want to kick myself for it, because great, we know how much these Mana games end up costing. And yeah, there's a sequel to Secret of Mana, that's great, and also a game that came after Trials of Mana, that's brilliant. Yikes. But, however, like I said, Trials of Mana is a remake. Trials of Mana's story centers around 6 heroes, which you get to choose 3. So yes, you get to play as 3 of 6 heroes to choose from. You can pick one character to be your main character, while the other 2 characters be your sub-characters, and you just form your own party there, and the story works on depending on the character you choose, which is actually really kind of brilliant, to be honest with you. It's really brilliant. Nobody thought of this? Holy crap. Well, other people did thought of this, but remember, the games I do remember that have done that before came after Trials of Mana. See what I'm trying to get at here? You know what, enough of my hijinks. But anyway, what's going on, essentially, the whole point of the story is that, however, you have the Sanctuary of Mana, the Mana Tree, and of course the Mana Goddess. They're getting fucked over, and Mana's going to get depleted, and essentially by a force that's looking to essentially destroy the world. So the 6 heroes are going to have to figure some shit out and work with a fairy that ends up coming into their life, and then all of a sudden they have to do whatever they can to stop the end of Mana, and yeah, that's essentially your story. Now, there's 2 issues with this game I want to get off my back. Now, 1, when it comes to certain characters in certain areas, the skill development can be very slow-paced for some people. Like, say, for example, if you pick Angela, and yes, she is a combat magician, or you can have her be a combat magician, but then the next thing you know, things get really complicating, because you can't pull any of the magic spells until you get that required elemental, and yeah, you're going to have to end up collecting a lot of elemental, and it's going to lead to some people forgetting about the magic wheel, and they have the magic system, because they're going to be too busy collecting all of the elementals, and that can be an issue for some people. And also, there are some parts of the story that can be rushed at sometimes, though at the same time, if you want to get more of the lore, if you want to learn more about that part of the lore, you're going to end up eventually playing as everybody anyway. And really, to be honest with you here, There is some areas of the story in which maybe there could be something that's been going on, but I ended up probably missing out on. Like I said, it is highly important. Don't worry about the main mission too much. Just get to the side missions. If there's side missions, deal with that. Squash that out. There's tons of things you can do in Trials of Mana. That's something you got to remember. But however, in some areas when it comes to the storytelling, things are not clear or elaborated for some, and some story elements can be rushed, but it's not too much, so thank goodness for that. Now, those are the two issues I want off my back. Now, let's get right on to this good, because I have plenty good to say this game. And boy, oh boy, when it comes to the design of this game, it looks beautiful, it looks fantastic, it looks like a huge, beautiful, heavy overhaul, and it looks like a huge, big improvement in evolution if you are to compare Secret of Mana's Remake, from which I haven't played Secret of Mana Remake, but I have seen Secret of Mana Remake and seen how it works. Well, the graphics. But, however, when it comes to Trials of Mana, there is some things that could be a bummer for some that have removed, but also, really, the most important thing is the gameplay really fun? And yeah, the gameplay is fantastically fun. It is an action RPG experience, and really, it's going to play familiar to Kingdom Hearts from some people, which I will get to that later. So, yeah, when it came to Trials of Mana, I had a blast with this game. There was plenty of fun to do with this game, and I got challenged big time, so the difficulty is pretty much really great and entertaining, especially when it comes to that difficulty. There are some tough fights that I was having a hard time trying to pull through and manage, and there was some enemies that threw me off, and there was some boss fights that really do it, and yeah, I like the challenge. I love the challenge, and yeah, there is challenging fights to be had in this game. So yeah, and also when it comes to the skill development, it is very interesting, and the skill tree development system is brilliant and out of this world, because not only is it kind of simple, but yet really interesting to look into and more elaborated, but also at the same time you get introduced to a new element that was kind of new to the Mana series, and you have the ability to choose multiple classes to evolve your character to. Now, let's say that Angela, who I ended up picking as my main character, she has essentially, well, a light and dark class. Okay, and then after that light class, they could be a light class or a light dark class, something or so forth. Now, let's say, for example, my progression went here. Now, you have regular Angela, who is magician class. Then I had to choose between either sorceress or the other one, the light in her dark class. I choose the dark side class for Angela, and then I was given a choice for a light class or a dark light class for Angela, or a dark class for Angela. So I picked the dark class for Angela, which ended up eventually, hip hip hooray, giving me an also awesome looking fourth class, which is, I will get to that later. So you essentially have multiple choices of classes to evolve your character to. That's very interesting, and that's actually a very unique thing that I haven't seen before in any RPG ever. I don't know if I remember any other RPG that has done that, really, to be honest with you here. But, yeah, this is something that has been newly introduced, and when I said newly introduced to me, I meant newly introduced to me. There could be other games, but we know that this is something very interesting. And yeah, it is pretty cool. It's just awesome for games to have something like that, and that's pretty freaking cool, and that's something interesting, and that's what ended up becoming the spotlight for this thing. The biggest key feature that ended up selling me into that. Okay. But, yeah, I was about to burp. Okay, so anyway, but enough with that jazz. But let's get right on going to it. And also, you have that addicting gameplay that's going to combine that platforming, and it's going to have that action RPG class, and it's going to, like I said, it's going to play similar to Kingdom Hearts, which I will, like I said, again, we'll get to that later, and that's going to definitely work with that. And also, when it comes to the level design And yeah, the level design and the graphics combined together, they're really great, fantastic. They were really great, blew my mind, and boy oh boy, I ended up being thrilled. The environments were great and really great. And also you add in that good music, that good level music. My goodness. When it comes to the soundtrack of Trials of Mana, damn, it's good. There are catchy music which I had in my head, and those were some very fantastic tunes that I ended up listening to the whole road, and that was just brilliant. It ended up just like clouding my head, and it was like, woohoo, wow. I love the music in this game, combined with the brilliant design, and of course the level design. Everything is just fantastic. The game's map is great, and there are some more interesting things that you get in the later levels. This is definitely it's the more you get into this game, the more you're going to definitely enjoy it, and that's going to be something. And also, yeah, you can pick up to 3 characters, and you are given the option to play through everybody's prologue level. It'll give you pick that main character, you play through the main scenarios, prologue level, and you can play the prologue level, and you are given the option to say yes or no if you want to play the prologue levels to your other sub-characters. So that's going to be something pretty cool. That's something I ended up doing. So, yeah, that's pretty crazy. And also, if you want to go ahead and just get the full story, or you're up for some good old replayability, guess what? Trials of Mana is going to have that by default, because not only you can play through all of the 6 characters, but there is post-game content. Post-game content that Square added to the Trials of Mana remake. Which pretty much, in the post-game, you are given the ability to evolve your character to 4th class. And depending on the progression that you picked for your character, it could be a 4th class, could be a light 4th class, or a dark 4th class. And boy oh boy, I ended up getting Angela a dark 4th class. And boy oh boy, and I had a blast with Angela's 4th dark class. And yeah, it was a fantastic, I had a good time, it was fun. And boy oh boy, she is a blast. Okay. However, and same thing for your other party members. And by the way, in real time, you can switch characters from left to right by using your trigger buttons. So yeah. So as you can just hit the L2 or R2, or basically your left trigger or right trigger, you can swap characters, which is actually pretty cool. Or you can essentially just hit the magic wheel for your character, and then I'm going to go over, and yes, you can do this for other characters. Same thing with the item wheels. And that's actually pretty something cool. You can go ahead, hit the down arrow on your D-pad, brings up the magic wheel. Oh no, I'm going to hit right, and that's going to lead to your party member's magic wheel. And just, you can command that party member to essentially use a healing spell on everybody, or heal someone in the party. That's actually pretty cool. And you can do that with items. You can hit the up button. Oh yeah, I can have that other teammate give her that high healing item that's gonna give my other party member more health than ever. That's definitely gonna fill up the HP bar and keep her from knockout. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to end up relying on the Cup of Witches. And yeah, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's definitely gonna throw a lot of people off. Hell, the game over conditions do not end in just, oh, you go to 0. Alright? If every single party member gets fucking petrified, game over. If every single party member gets turned into a snowman, or gets covered in snow and becomes snow people, that's essentially like that. That can be a game over. It's looking to be a really tough, challenging game, and yeah. This game does not play around in terms of some difficult. There are some fights where I had a hard time dealing with it, and I got the hang of it. And really, there are times where I almost got my ass kicked. Trust me. But the difficulty is fantastic, and the things you can do, and the way of how you can do things is just brilliant. You're given plenty of options of how to do things and how you can do a lot of things to it. And also, you do have the class super combos as well, which essentially that does develop later as you evolve classes left and right. So if you get your 4th class, you'll have all 4 of your class-based super moves. which relies on that little blue meter that goes under your HP and MP bar. And yeah, you can pull off a super max combo, or you can use up all 4 of your super bars to unleash a class 4 super devastating move on people. It's crazy. In terms of the game's storytelling, you're not going to be disappointed in this one. You're going to be having a blast with it. You're going to be feeling for the characters. The storyline for the game is pretty much really good, even though despite being rushed in some areas. But the story is very entertaining. You'll be entertained. And the character development is fantastic. You'll be growing attached to these characters who you pick to play as. And you're going to be having a blast to it. And you're going to be finding some favorite characters alongside, definitely. And, however, when it comes to the storytelling elements, there are some moments where, boy, oh boy, it can hit you hard. It can pretty much, because there has been some parts in the story where it almost hit me fucking hard, and I don't want to spoil anything. But my goodness, it kind of shows, and yeah, it's essentially the story is just showing everybody's getting really shitted on from left and right. They're getting dragged through the fucking mud because of some stupid motherfuckers that are wanting to fuck around. Everybody's getting fucked over at this point, and yeah, you end up kind of feeling sorry for them, and you kind of hope for them. You kind of hope the better for them. You kind of hope a better future for them. You really hope they live happy, and that's something that's really great. That's great character development. That's great character development right there. Trials of Mana is essentially a really big-time fun remake. It's a fun game. It's a really great fun game, and I've enjoyed it. I had a blast with it. It is fantastic. Okay, so, like I said, it can play similar to Kingdom Hearts, but however, when it comes to the action RPG stuff and things that go to it, this is where I kind of say it. It's perfect for everybody. It's a must-have for every RPG fanatic out there. But, however, especially if you are one of those people who are not into Kingdom Hearts anymore because you're fatigued with Disney or something like that, this is a perfect Kingdom Hearts alternative for that alongside Final Fantasy 15. So yeah, you have Trials of Mana. You can pick 3 out of 6 characters to definitely play as. You can pick a main character or 2 sub-characters, and you can switch between them. That's pretty awesome. So yeah, it can also serve to you as a Kingdom Hearts alternative if you're kind of fatigued with Kingdom Hearts because of the fatigue with Disney. That's something like that, but even though you're not fatigued with Kingdom Hearts, any person who plays RPGs, any RPG fanatic, anybody who wants to get into RPGs should definitely check out Trials of Mana Remake, because Trials of Mana Remake, I had a blast. It was a fun time, and I had good damn fun. I was addicted to it. I ended up staying up till like... the game already got done downloading at noon. I started playing the game at noon, and then I got fucking into that game. I got really fucking addicted to that game, and I was like up till like 3 in the morning. And by the time I got to bed, it was like almost 4 a.m. So like, it could be, I almost stayed a full night because of this game. Fucking great. A fantastic game, worth having. Definitely worth having. And, boy, I had a blast. Now, let's give this game an overall rating, and my overall rating is 83%, which gets this game a B-. This is definitely a fantastic game. It's not perfect, but hey, it's a brilliant, well done, brilliantly polished game. I had a blast with it, I had good fun with it, and it's fantastic. Go ahead and get this game. That is all. I'll be looking forward to you in the next video. Peace out! Oh yeah, and the character designs are fantastic. Yeah.